Hello, this is John here with another tutorial in Moodle. In our last video, we took a look at the basic settings for quizzes within our Moodle course. This will successfully add the quiz onto the Moodle course page and will allow us to make further edits to it so we can construct the quiz itself. Once we have added the quiz onto the course page, you should land on a page like this anytime you've click on the exam or quiz. Right now we have no questions that have been added to this quiz. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to click Edit Quiz in order to add some questions. Here we can edit the maximum grade, which will help us kind of allocate all the points for the questions that will culminate into that maximum grade. As you see right now, our page is pretty bare. So what we're going to have to do is add a question. In order to add a question, we're going to scroll right over to the right hand side and click Add. Here we have three choices: add a new question, add a question from the question bank, or add a random question. We'll go ahead and click on Add a new question. This will bring up a menu similar to the Activities and Resource menu, where we have a wide variety of different questions that we can include on our quiz. It will be up to the instructor to select which quizzes will work for them best, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and include a multiple choice question onto my quiz. Once I've selected the question I want to add, we can go ahead and click Add. Next, this will lead us to the question page, where we'll want to supply a name for our question and the question itself within the question text. After we're done, we can go through and we can select some additional settings for our quiz. We will want to set up the default points for that particular question, especially if we have a quiz that has a certain percent value or point value. If certain questions are weighted more, you want to make sure that you make those include more points, as they're all going to be defaulted at 1. We also have an area where we can provide general feedback, where if a student is on that question, this feedback will be visible. Once we're done with those initial settings right there, we can go ahead and we can select either if one answer is correct or multiple answers are correct. We can shuffle the choices and we can number the choices the way we want them to too. If we continue to scroll down, we want to go ahead and use the next section for our answers. Here you want to be sure if you have multiple answers that you make the values equal 100%. So if I only have 4 answers, we each want to make them 25%. Obviously, if you had one answer and the question is only there's only one correct answer out of the multiple choice, you'll want to make all the other ones 0% because they're going to get 0% for answering that question or answering the question with that answer, and you'll want to make the correct answer 100%. After that, we can go ahead and we can scroll down to look at some additional settings. Here in the Provide Feedback section will allow us to enter in feedback for particular instances within the quiz. We also have an area for the multiple try setting. So if we want to include hints and allow students to answer the question again, we can set up that all that in this section. And we even have tags, which we won't be utilizing in this video. So once we're all done with that, we'll go ahead and save our changes. And once we have saved the changes, it will bring us back to the editing quiz screen, where it will now show our question at the bottom. If we need to make edits to this question, all we have to do is click on it and it will bring us back to the screen where we can edit the question. So that is how you add a question onto the quiz without without utilizing a question bank, or if you're just trying to set up a quick little quiz, that's how you can include some questions in there. If we have a question bank where we've had previous quizzes before, or we know another professor that will utilize some of his quizzes in your course where you can edit and change them so it fits your needs, we can go down and we can click Add, and then we can click Add from Question Bank. This will bring up a list of questions from a variety of different question banks, which we can go through and take a look at which one we want to go ahead and add to our course. Obviously, this one has multiple learning sections in it from previous courses, but there is one main one that has most of the questions from all the different courses. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down and find a question that we want to include, and once we do, we'll go ahead and click the little plus sign. This will take us to the editing screen phase where we initially start, and this will allow us to edit the question so it fits within our quiz. We can edit the point values to the right of it, and we can edit the question by clicking on it. One final way to add a question onto your exam is to utilize the Add a Random Question feature. This Add a Random Question feature will allow you to go through and select random questions from your question bank categories to include on your quiz. This will allow you to set up the number of random questions, the category you want to draw from, and the final button, which will allow you to add the random question yourself. So this has been a brief tutorial on how to add questions onto your quizzes. We are going to do one final video which will show you how to import questions from a Word file. And this will show you how to ultimately add them onto the quizzes from the Word file as well. So please stay tuned, and thank you for watching.